Hey, 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 hey.
Okay.
It's the Off the Cuff podcast with Ashley DeWeese and Justin DeWeese.
Notice how I become Ashley DeWeese and not my beautiful bride or my, you know, divine goddess or whatever other phrases you.
Well, I'm saving it all up.
Right. For what? Future podcasts? This
No,
is episode 75, by the way.
is it really?
Yeah.
Dope. 75. You know what 75?
75 hard. All for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good time. But 75 divided by 5,
It was 15.
I think.
I don't know.
Don't check my math.
I don't
It
do math.
feels right. Let's just go with it.
That feels like a lot of 15s.
Well, 15, 30,
That's
45,
right.
60,
60,
75.
75.
Boom.
I just like odd numbers.
Why?
I don't know. It's the same reason I like forks, squares, straight lines.
And see, now y'all have learned something about her. Forks and squares and straight lines and odd numbers.
I don't like spoons. I don't like bowls that aren't square. I don't prefer circles, triangles, squares,
Are they called bowls if they're squares, though?
tables with rounded corners, archways in houses that are like all over our house.
Where do you suppose that comes from? Your disdain for things that are round.
They're soft.
You like it hard.
I mean, I'm just yeah, there's probably some Freudian or trauma based philosopher person therapist that would have something to say about my love for clean, straight, sharp edges.
If
Probably how
that's
someone
you,
describes me.
if that's you and you're listening to this, by all means, send us an email. Let us know what's going on. She likes it hard, sharp.
Something like that. So we are
Noted
celebrating, well, we will have celebrated
when you listen to this.
our 15th wedding anniversary, which is on July the 17th.
Odd numbers.
So we can't really tell you what the celebration is or what it goes like because we don't know, because it hasn't happened yet.
It's in the future. We've created it up here, but not out there.
But we can talk a little bit about the rawness and realness of like leading up to this anniversary. And that is that this is a tip for you. A reminder that humans are different and their minds work differently. And they also have different expectations that can sometimes get in the way.
Get in the way of what, though? Like, what do you mean by get in the way?
Well, I mean, they can, like, if you don't make note of those things that I just listed,
Right?
it can create obstacles in your relationships, partnerships, lifehood. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get it now.
Because here's the thing. Coming into this 15th anniversary, I would love to tell you that it's been like you know, at least I always speak for myself. It's been a little bit stressful, but the stress has been stemming from like mismanagement of communication and expectations and honestly like ways of doing things maybe.
Sure. That goes back to what?
Nothing. It's like we've never done a podcast before.
Well, no, this is how human communication
I
flows.
I
Like,
see.
sometimes there's a thoughtful pause,
Justin's a little bit slower paced
a little more laid back.
than I am.
I'm a little more rounded edges versus hard and sharp over here.
Absolutely. And sometimes that has us running into each other like Clash of Clans.
Look at
That's the only thing that came to mind.
a random reference.
I'm just saying. So needless to say, before he decides what he wants to interject with, there's been a little bit of clashing leading up to this 15th anniversary celebration.
Because, like she was saying, we have different thoughts and expectations of all the things, to be honest with you. And I mean, realistically, like it's it is a source of confrontation and conflict with this.
Yeah,
But I would also argue that it is the fertilizer for our greater growth
probably.
because, well, it's like you see some people, and maybe you've experienced this, maybe we've experienced it, whatever, um, that spend all their time in an echo chamber, right? Where everybody is just like them and thinks the same things and does the same things and all the same things. You can't grow like that, in my opinion. Like you have to be challenged, you have to be um confronted with ideas and philosophies and ways of doing things that are not your ways in order for you to grow fully as a human being.
Yeah, and obviously, like we don't spill 100% of the details of our life
Because you
with
people
you.
would be like, you two are getting insane.
Well, not even that. I'm not even concerned about people thinking we're crazy. I have no doubt there's people that think that I'm crazy, and I'm cool with that. But more so, like, I don't know. There's just some things in life that, like, I don't think 100% of everything needs to be out there.
Right.
And not because I'm trying to hide anything. It's just part of like the sacred protection of
Right. This ain't the Truman
the
Show.
people and things that matter most. At the same time, we do try to divulge quite a bit, because the last thing that we want to do is be putting out like
Fake
fake,
news.
like making you think that everything is just
Peachy
amazing all
keen.
the
Oh
time
my
and
gosh.
what have you. Because that's what's most relatable. Like I want to know that other people have arguments, and I want to know that other couples have like times where maybe I think they're like all in, 100% in love and all in for each other, and life, shit doesn't stink. And yes, they're 100% all in and love each other, but they still have times where shit stinks.
Right.
you
Well,
know,
and I mean,
I think that's important.
could you really be in love with somebody if shit didn't stink every once in a
I
while?
mean, probably not
I'd
truly,
argue
but
no.
it's certainly what is can be portrayed. So, anyways, but going back to the idea of like I think I sent it to you, maybe, probably. There's some sort of like quote or statement out there that says, and it obviously goes both ways, but this particular one was saying like a great woman or a great wife will like actually challenge you,
Sure.
will not just, oh, whatever, honey, and like, because I certainly can come across as a or be a prickly pear at times. But I think where some of it stems from, and I think for me, this is one of the most challenging parts. One of the most challenging parts of our marriage at this juncture stems from not only uh my life experiences prior and including you, meaning like before you were in my life and once you were in my life, as well as our growth journey. One of the things that
Sure.
we've talked about on multiple episodes is, while being someone who is growing as a person and becoming more aware and wanting to pursue their best self, um, it can be challenging because at times while you're trying to uh honor strategies and actions that you should be implementing because of that growth, at the same time you're also aware of how that can impact like your partner in this case, um as well as like it's like I have these feelings, and I'll get more specific in a minute, but like I have these feelings and I need to not hold them in. And so I am going to get them out and be open and honest. At the same time, I also maybe know that some of those feelings or thoughts that I hold is shit that I need to still work on
Sure.
and isn't necessarily like your responsibility or your thing, but yet I need to be able to get it out there. But I know in getting it out there, it also like can impact you in some sort of a way or negative way that I don't want either. So it is, not can be. It's very messy at times,
Sure.
especially when you are someone who has developed a keen sense of self-awareness and growth and like all sides of the coin. it's hard because one of the things for me that, after my experience in life of, watching my mom not always speak up for herself, um, watching, uh, or going through times where I didn't always speak up for myself and what that created for myself in relationships. And so to be at a place in life where like I have vowed to speak up for myself and share my feelings and be very raw and I think that once I start talking about my thoughts and feelings on a situation, the floodgates open. I allow myself to let the floodgates open, and it's very raw and real, and it's not always soft, or rounded. And it's just, I'm getting it out there, right? At the same time, like I said, like that can potentially, create hurt.
Sure.
And so it's messy.
Well, again, and that's the ebb and flow of communication, especially within a marriage, right? Because going back to the previous or earlier point, I am quite rounded. And so I end up driving her crazy because I probably think too much about what I'm going to say before I say it and how I'm going to deliver it and all those things. And so then sometimes she ends up like, get it out, guy. And I'm like, well, let
You
me,
see me do it on this podcast sometimes. I'll
right.
be like, and then what?
Like, I don't want to call her an F and B. So instead, I should probably say something like, the way you are approaching this is maybe not the best approach that we should be taking, type thing.
Well, or even just like, if I mean, you can go on with this here, but I think from your angle, as I talked about the impact of some of my life experiences and whatnot, which have brought me to this place where I'm like, I'm not keeping this shit inside. I need for you to know how where I'm at and how I feel.
Right.
Like you have had life experiences that have brought you to a place which you're working on, but have brought you to a place where you hesitate to say what you're really feeling or thinking because of how you've been responded to in past
Right.
relationships or past situations in life. So you're hesitant
Right.
for those reasons based on your past life experiences.
Well, that's, again, that's where it gets like the next level of messy, right? Because it'd be one thing if we could just communicate as the people that we are or want to be, perhaps. But yeah, to your point, you're bringing your baggage, I'm bringing my baggage, and they're not the same kind of baggages.
Right.
So,
And like things that the other may say or do, can trigger not only past patterns or
right,
experiences with the other person, but also then it also can connect to other things that have happened in your life.
right.
And so then it just, I know that's how I explain it for me. Like, even in this situation, which again, we'll get to a few of those details, but even in this kind of planning or preparing for our 15th anniversary, like some of the lack of communication or things that I had expected him to do that he didn't do, triggered past experiences with him, but also past experiences I've had with other men in my life. And so it just internally in me, it stirs up some of the shit that, as we've said before, are places where I'm not fully free in myself in my life. And so on one hand, it exposes things that I actually know that I still need to work through and process through and what have you because it's come up. It keeps coming up. Shit in your life will keep coming up until you choose to ultimately face it and go through it, by the way.
Big facts and big nug for the day. So, yeah, I think we've firmly established that it's messy, that it's complicated, and all those things. So let's unpack some of the experience.
Yeah, so and like just and we're just gonna kind of do the quick version of the main thing. But the main thing here is that like, I this is the 15th wedding anniversary. I've grown up. It's not that I mean, I guess my parents did have some like big parties for like their 40, my mom's birthday. I think we threw a big celebration for my dad's 40th birthday, maybe 25th wedding anniversary, just things like that, right? So I feel like I have kind of been conditioned, number one, that milestone moments matter
Sure.
and matter to the extent that you like celebrate them uh bigger in bigger ways than you celebrate non-milestone birthdays or anniversaries or whatever, right? And also, as time has gone on with my personal growth and really identifying for myself things that I want for myself in my marriage, etc., those two things combined had me creating, certain like expectations and visualizations of what I wanted and thought and hoped that our 15th anniversary would look like. For you, which I guess I didn't specifically say, would be more of a grand, as grand as we can get. I mean, we're not really like over the top,
Right. There was not going to be any tuxedos
right?
and
Or huge ass party
right.
or something like that. But yeah. And so for you though, your frame on milestones like this is kind of what? And I guess I'm thinking about like what you said when we were swimming the other day or floating.
Well, it's just to me, it's more like a opportunity to really focus in on each other and just like take the time to recognize the journey, the appreciation for each other, a little more subdued, laid back, perhaps rounded, if you will. Um,
Well, it's like you're not really putting in what I see here's the thing. Like I like expect him to say something about something, and then he doesn't know that that's what I'm supposed to say. So I want him to say, no, you were like it's kind of like you're not big on like necessarily like even like non-milestone birthday celebrations or anniversaries because you take this perspective of like these are things that we need to be doing daily and that
right.
you feel like we do daily, right? Like we shouldn't need to make a big deal or whatever about our 15th wedding anniversary, for example, because you know,
Well, yeah. Okay. Now I know what she expects. Let me tell you. So the way I explained it was like to me, big anniversary hoorahs and oh, this it's our anniversary, so I'm gonna get my wife 3,000 roses and this and that and the other thing. That's to me, that's for the kind of guy that doesn't do shit for his wife the whole rest of the year or does the bare minimum, right? And I would rather approach life as I'm giving my all to her and the kids. I almost said her kids for some reason. TBD. Um, every single day and proving and showing that love like on the regular so that I don't feel this need to like on some random day on the calendar be like, "Oh my gosh, you are my prize and my
see, I
jewel."
look at it and I get that and I love that. But for me, I look at it as I want that, but then I also want
Yes, and
emphasis on
right,
those milestone moments too, right? Like
right.
like I want that ongoing emphasis and I feel like we've done a really good job in our life for the most part in doing that both with each other and with our kids, right? It's one of the things we talk about with our kids as far as like vacations and different things like that. Like we really work to do experiences and things from time to time throughout the year that it's not like a huge deal, but like at the same time, like you can take a look at that and I still want to have like a
Sure, I get
point
that.
on summer vacation. So I think that's where like we differ is I absolutely am on board with it should be happening, the connection and the celebration of each other should be happening like all the time. But at the same time, I also want more emphasis on the milestone moments. And so that's been a little bit of a point of contention with us, in the last couple of weeks that we've been working through behind the scenes, because then it's like, and let me pause for a minute. Why are we telling you this? One, because anytime you like tell your story to other people, by the way, it actually like helps you in
Right.
processing it. But we're also sharing it because as we said at the beginning, like we're not the only freaking ones that like deal with these things. And to be honest with you, a lot of couples deal with this exact type of scenario around not just like your anniversary, but like other things in
Right.
life, even day-to-day things in life. And they don't ever talk about it and they don't ever share this. And so maybe by us being transparent about this, it will at a minimum make you feel a little bit better that you feeling it is kind of normal,
Right.
you know? Um, but yeah, so that's been kind of a point of contention in planning this because basically like he's a little bit more laid back about it. And I'm like, well, hey, like if shit's going down for our anniversary, like, is there something in the works that's been planned? And in my brain, because I know, see, it's so messy. It's so messy. At least my
It
brain,
is.
inside my brain is messy
Inside all our brains is messy.
because there can be conflict between like what I know I want and the expectations I have, meaning that I want for our relationship, not like in a selfish way, things I want,
Right.
but it's like, it's, it's what we get one life, right? And for some of us, we've had more than one marriage. And so I'm like, I've been there, done that. This marriage, like, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going, and so it's like, I know what I want. At the same time, I can be aware of like who he is and what his patterns have been. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't need to grow and shift and make changes or become better at certain things. But at the same time, like I also know. So it's like the conundrum of, hey, I hope this is a bigger celebration, etc. But like I also know his perspective. I also know like typically he's not going to do a bunch of forward planning. And so it's like, okay, I can wait and see if he's planned something that matches the expectations. And then if he doesn't, then will burn the whole day to the ground. I do that less and less, I hope. But
Yes. You do it less and less.
there's potential for me burning an entire day to the ground. And so the last thing I wanted in this particular situation was to get to that place where here it is, our anniversary that we're supposed to be celebrating, and I am like upset the whole time, which would totally be on me. We get to decide how we're going to feel, how we're going to act, etc., how we're going to respond
Sure.
to
Sure.
situations, right? Um, so yeah, like ultimately I've ended up doing after some heated conversations, whatever, I've done more planning. And that brings on another thing. I've done more planning for how we're going to be celebrating on the 17th than what I had planned in my brain or the picture that I had in my brain. And one of the things that I've been thinking about, and we did have a little bit of a conversation about, and maybe you can consider, is it is an anniversary for both of us. It's our
We
anniversary.
got married together.
But yet in my brain, and I don't know where it comes from, honestly, but in my brain, well, he should be creating these anniversary plans for us. And so there's part of me that's like, well, that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
There is a part of my brain that also quietly, it's way quieter than the other part, but there is a part of my brain that says, well, that's not totally fair to him because who does something for him? Like because it's not my anniversary, it's our anniversary. And so why does it have to be fully his responsibility to like plan the whole thing for us? Because then it's like it's for me.
Right.
And what do you get, if that makes sense?
Right. Well, and that's a whole thing to unpack, right? Of like, where does that messaging come from? And you could look at all the like jewelry commercials and the way things are slanted in that direction for like Valentine's Day and all the other things, right? When it comes to relationship type stuff like this, like it is just beat into our brains that like the guy plans something special for this day and the couple goes and does it, and
Typically.
it is one of those weird situations. But to your point, like it is our anniversary. So why is it a point of conflict?
Right. Well, and the root, and we certainly don't have time to fully dig into this, but like at the root of everything, too, I always forget there's like four or five that is the root of everything. But two of them, one is fear, one is love, like the need for love. And so I have no doubt 100% that part of it for me is my need to feel loved
Right.
and be
Sure.
loved. That clearly is something that is still an ongoing piece of work for me, right? But my need for being loved by others then is connected to things such as this. So, this is an opportunity for me to feel loved by you.
Right.
And regardless of how you make me feel loved at different times during our days and lives and weeks and months and whatever, in my brain, the wiring and conditioning is this is an event, this is a moment in time, an opportunity for him to show me how much he loves me and that I matter and that I'm valuable to him. And then that is connected and equated to if you truly love me and value me and I matter to you and I'm important, then you would have completely planned something to
Sure.
show me outwardly all of that. Which here's one of those examples of that conundrum I'm talking about. Because at the very time that like just, and I knew this before, but like for you as an example, what I just said, and I fully feel that, right? At the same time, I also know that like it's faulty thinking. And I also know that, again, it's a part of myself
Sure.
that I still have to, I don't like to use the word heal in today's world, but that's still a part of me that I have to heal,
Recondition.
recondition, right? Because that also is showing that there are still parts of me that seeks love externally and acceptance externally as opposed to God's love for me and my love for me, right?
Right.
Because if I'm fully fulfilled with God's love for me and my love for me, then I don't need you to do anything
Right.
to help me feel loved and accepted because I know that God loves and accepts me and I love and accept me and that is all that matters. I don't need to get that from you. And again, this is like this can maybe we can do a part 2 episode. But that is a struggle in relationships. A point of contention in relationships is because men and women can look to each other to fulfill
Sure.
things in themselves that really truly we should be fulfilling ourselves and through God's love and view of us. But instead, we look to our partner to fulfill that for us. And then that's where those expectations come from. That's where, those types of feelings come from because we're trying to fulfill that need or that hole or gap that we have inside of us. and we're making it seem as though it's their job, and
Right.
really it's our job.
Right. Well, and the other thing that I was thinking of as you were rolling through that is, so I don't remember the dude's name, but the five love languages, right? Like everybody has a love language that they prefer to communicate in. Like it's all well and good to know what your love language is and how you perceive and receive love, right? But it's that idea of dichotomies of things being two-sided that we also, and I will wholly admit I do a terrible job of this. We also have to recognize what our partner's preferred love language is, right? And realize that, oh, her preferred love language is gift giving. So when I get something from her, that really means something to her, even though my love language might be acts of service or whatever. I don't even remember all the categories, but we have to remember, just like with the communication thing, that we're two different people and we give and receive things in different ways.
Right. So in this situation, since I feel like I've given a specific example of like the alternate side of like my wants and needs, but being aware of like the other side, like, is there something that like already you've either learned or has been reinforced that you knew that you didn't necessarily carry out at this juncture, that like that you've learned like that you wouldn't do again in the same way because you're learning or having being reinforced like things that matter to me in this type of thing.
Right. Yeah.
So
No,
like could you share like one of those?
yeah. I mean, you've said it a bunch on here that like milestones are important to you, and I need to celebrate that importance with you on those things. And I need to plan forward, plan ahead, and provide not 100% of the experience, right? To your point about, well, why does the man have to do it, blah blah blah, but to take that initiative and get the ball rolling, so to speak,
Yeah.
in advance.
Yeah, because like what we're not saying, and certainly sometimes it is a flip of the script, and like maybe one person does need to come 100%
Sure, of
to
course.
the other side, but often it's it's more, at least in our experience, often it's just more of a not the other person needing to come 100% to the other person's like side or expectation or standard, but a revision that is kind of like a compromise,
Right.
right? Or even a better way of doing things. Because one of the things that and here's an example because we shared it on a previous episode. If you haven't listened to the episode where we went and got a massage recently and did cold plunge, like go back. I don't know what episode it is, but go back and listen to that because this is what I'm referencing. Um, because one of the things I said to you maybe yesterday when we were having a little heated moment was it it's not even just that, you hadn't made a bunch of plans and whatnot ahead of time. But even after we kind of got over or dealt with like a first hump, then I was like, even if you had communicated, like, hey, I'd like for us to do something,
Sure.
like, even if he'd communicated, hey, I would like for us to do something special, or hey, I had some thoughts about where we would go for dinner or what we would do, and then we talked about it together and made a plan, like even that, as I shared with him, would have been helpful for my
Sure.
brain and heart. And so with the massage thing, sometimes as well, which is frustrating for me. I know there's probably ways that I do it for sure, that the script can be reversed, but like that massage, remember like you had messaged me and were like, I would like for us to go get massages.
Right.
Can you please schedule that? Because to his credit, there have been times in the past where he had, because this is probably another part of why you hesitate sometimes to plan and whatnot, is that There have been times in the past where he's tried to plan things, and I was like, "Oh, you missed the mark, buddy."
Very real and rawly lets me know I missed the mark.
I've gotten a bit better,
That, yes,
but yes,
we're talking about past
right,
experiences.
right. Um, so I can understand sometimes why he hesitates to plan as well because of that, right? And again, that also goes back to like that fear of rejection,
Sure.
right? Um, so it's like I can recognize like why he would hesitate at times and be planning because he wants to get it right. He wants to do something that like I love and enjoy and whatever. And even though it doesn't matter how much you know your person, like it doesn't mean you're always going to hit the nail on the head.
Right.
Uh, so that's where it's like even if you would have again, I want to know that he was thinking ahead because I matter. That I mean, that's all that it is. And so it's not even just that, oh, you had a complete plan in place. It's just show me, and tell me something that clues me in that you were thinking about this ahead of time and it wasn't just like a last minute thing. And so my point there is that it's like, oh, he learned, right? Like that massage. Oh, he learned. Look, he learned about how my brain works and what my needs are. And so he was like, hey, I want us to have a massage. Go do this. And it was amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, that meant so much that you like thought of this ahead of time, even though you asked me to help with the details. So then with this, in the planning of our anniversary, like our brains can go, okay, well, he learned that. Not like you're a dog. I don't mean to imply that. That's what it sounds like as I'm
That is
talking,
what it
but
sounds like, but
I
I get it.
but how else am I supposed to say
I,
it?
no, I get it.
Like or he made that change or he made that shift. And then you don't go and do the same thing that you
Right.
realized before. And it's like, what's going on? And so there's part of me, right, that's like, I don't get it. Like we've hashed this out before. We've gone through this and you got it and it executed. It was great. And now this next time you didn't like do the same thing before that was so helpful. But like the other part of me, again, this is the curse of personal growth and self-awareness. I also know that that doesn't how it's not how it works, right? There's
Sure.
things for myself that I learn and become aware of and I do it differently and it goes better, right? And then a month or two later, I
It doesn't.
revert to what I was doing before I realized how I could do it better, right? Like it
Yep.
takes repetition and practice and so forth. And so here's where we're at now. Uh, I apologized via message today
Truth.
and was just like, hey, uh, I definitely needed to get my feelings out, which it was hard and uncomfortable, but I needed to get those feelings out and not keep them in. Um, at the same time, like I don't want it looming because like you've talked about, and it's part of what I continue to like marinate on is like at the end of the day, like life is messy and it's not always going to go perfectly. And yes, we need to grow. And yes, we need to become better. And yes, we need to hold each other accountable for that growth, right? And not just allow our partners to continue to repeat the same cycles and what have you.
Right.
But also at the same time, like at the end of the day, like you are my person and I do love you deeply and I know that you love me deeply. And so the last thing I want to do is have something about, details and mismanaged expectations and communications end up ruining an opportunity for us to just focus on the point of it all anyway.
Right.
Which is what I said to you is that every single day for 15 years, whether the sun was shining or it was like super fucking rainy outside, like we've chosen each other like over and over and over again, which is the point of the milestones.
Right. You need a fresh Kleenex.
No.
Okay. Yeah. We choose each other over and over. in spite of the bumps, bruises, flaws, stupidities, nonsense.
So, we will be enjoying our anniversary. I can't tell you that we won't have a little spat because we're human. I mean, I hope we don't, but I don't know. I don't know if the sun's gonna come out tomorrow. It could be rainy and whatever, but we will do our best. And we will keep working on this and the communication and the love languages and all the things that we shared today, right? But this is what it looks like. Like this is the journey. This is life. And so if you're in the thick of it, if you're living a life and in a relationship where you can relate to some of these things that we're talking about, like hopefully it gives you hope that it can be worked on, that
That you're not
you're
alone.
not alone, that you're not crazy, that you're not in some necessarily like broken relationship, although you might be, and you need to be aware of that. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's messy and you can have a great marriage and relationship and sometimes it still be like hard.
Yep. So,
It's part of it.
with that, thank you for joining us for our couples counseling session,
For ourselves, we hope you got a little something out of it for you too.
episode 75 in the books.
We are gonna go wrap things up so we can head out
Go
to
do our
celebrate,
things.
and we'll be back with you guys next week.